Ladies, I just finished filming a video with my friend and makeup educator Nikolina. She helped me achieve this beautiful, flawless complexion and a few other amazing makeup tips. I'm excited for the video. Keep watching. Ladies, welcome to Lifestyle with Isabella. Here we learn to look the best while being our best selves. Today, I have the pleasure of being at Glam Sophisticated Makeup Academy here in Las Vegas with its founder, Nikolina. She kindly agreed to teach us 3 of her top makeup secrets. Nikolina, thank you for being here.
Hi Isabella, it's a pleasure having you here in my studio. So guys, let's get started.
The first thing, Nikolina, can you please teach me how to get beautiful skin without...
Wait, beautiful skin or flawless complexion?
Flawless complexion.
Yes.
Basically, I want my complexion to look beautiful. I just don't want to weigh it down with a lot of foundation.
I see, okay, stay tuned. So first things first, we want to make sure we prep and prime our skin really good. And I'm sure you know this as well. So using a good moisturizer really helps with that. I love using the Embryolisse Light Cream Concentrate because it's perfect for all skin types, oily, sensitive, dry, and it's also kind of like a primer slash moisturizer. So it really holds down your makeup really good. I'm going to take a little bit. I like to work with my fingers when it comes to moisturizer, and I like to warm up in my skin and also kind of massage it while I do this to promote circulation in my skin as well.
Can I do it?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
And I like to bring
it smells
everything up. We all know that, right? We want to work against
the cream. It smells really nice.
It smells very nice and fresh, and it's a really good moisturizer, especially we live here in Las Vegas. It's very dry, and this moisturizer just does the job.
How far up your eyes do you bring it?
Pretty much till about here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I do like how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
And you just apply with your fingers. Okay.
Yes.
So it is a moisturizer, but it also acts like a primer.
Exactly.
Right.
Now we're moving on to this amazing product I was talking to you about, and I'm so excited to show you finally. So instead of using foundation, I'm actually going to use this product called Melanie Mills Hollywood, which is kind of like a bronzer, moisturizer, glow, tinted moisturizer all in one, if you will. It's very exciting, and it's both for face and body, safe for face and body. So I'm going to show you how I use this with a brush.
Okay.
And I know you mostly like to use your fingers, so I'm going to let you do your fingers when it's your turn, okay? I'm using a buffing brush, so a nice chunk of product, and I'm just going to kind of dab it all over my face and kind of buff and stipple in the same time. I like stippling product. Instead of wiping or pulling or blending, I like kind of stippling.
What's stippling?
Stippling is like kind of stippling on your skin, like dabbing on your skin, like a beauty blender, right? You don't wipe it a beauty blender, you more like press it into the skin. So that way, when you have any type of, I don't know, texture on your skin, it doesn't look like it's on top of it. It looks like it's kind of synced inside of your skin, if that makes sense. It looks more flawless that way too, and it lasts longer too. So as you can see, I'm just like applying this product. I'm going to try to turn my head around so you guys can kind of see really the dimension of this product. It gives me a little glow, a little tint as well, not too much. This is the Peach Deluxe color. They have 6 different colors, and it just gives me a beautiful glow for the day. I can use this for my office. I can use this when I'm running my errands, when I just want something very easy for my skin.
And I did see in some of your Instagram videos that you're using this for the body to give that beautiful finishing look. I didn't realize this was the same thing you could use for the face.
Exactly. You can use for the face because it's safe, it's water-based, does not clog your pores, doesn't have any oils, but it has really good stuff inside like vitamin A, vitamin E. It really feeds your skin, and it really keeps your skin moisturized and glowy throughout the day. And it also dries kind of to a matte finish without being too shiny, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes.
And I love it. It's just so easy to apply, as you can see, and it just looks gorgeous on the skin.
And it's not heavy like a
It's not heavy. It literally feels like a moisturizer. You don't feel like you have anything on your skin.
My turn now.
Yes, your turn now.
So I can just use my fingers like I normally use.
I would suggest getting some more.
More?
Do some more. Don't be afraid.
Really?
I don't want you. And also, I would love for you to be able to kind of warm it with your fingers and kind of apply it like this. So pretend like you're applying a moisturizer, literally.
So like warm it like this?
Yes.
Oh.
And kind of like just spread it all over with your fingers.
It starts to feel different.
It still kind of warms up the product.
Yes.
Yep, just go ahead. Do you want me to hold the mirror for you?
Yes, please. Okay, now I'm like, okay.
Here you go.
Oh my goodness. I hope the camera captures this. It has the most beautiful glow.
Yes. Just go ahead. Just a regular moisturizer. Spread it all over your skin, usually on the neck as well. It's great for summer, for example. If you have a little bit more color on your shoulders and your chest, but your face is a little bit, lighter.
Like mine.
Yes, exactly. This just gives you the beautiful glow. Also evens out any streaky spray tans, anything on your skin, for example, on your legs, varicose veins, stretch marks, any type of discoloration. It just evens everything out and almost looks like a liquid pantyhose, if you will, on your legs when you apply it.
Yes, I feel like it makes me look more exotic.
Exactly, exactly. And you see how light, so now your skin is a little more red, maybe because you've been massaging it.
Oh, no, it's, in January I had the TCA peel for my eyes. So this area here, it gets blotchy quick when I touch it.
Okay, because it promotes circulation.
Probably, but you notice I'm not red here.
Yes.
So after I'm done touching it, everything will even out.
Use a little more and apply a little bit on the neck, just kind of even out in between your chest.
Okay, so I apply like this.
Face.
Actually, I can feel how the texture changes.
That's why I like using my fingers and my brush as well. A beauty blender really maybe wouldn't work as good. For me, I just like a brush better, I guess.
Like a brush, okay.
Yeah.
Would you apply with the fingers like I do it?
Yes, if I'm really in a rush, that's what I use, just fingers. Okay. And you see how it gives you a beautiful tint? I don't know if you can maybe show in the camera, kind of turn around so people can really see how glowy it looks.
Oh my gosh.
And it just feels so lightweight. It doesn't feel
I want to admire myself a bit more.
Yes, please, go ahead.
It's very beautiful.
And there is no glitter, there is no shimmer, there is no shine. It's just beautiful glow from within, if you will.
Yes.
Next step is going to be our concealer. So I like to use my concealer before I even apply any foundation. I like to use just a little bit in the parts where I mostly need them, which is my under eye. Cover any imperfections if I have to, maybe a little blemishes from our masks, right? We are now breaking out really bad. I like to dot a little, maybe a little too much, just to kind of dot on those little areas if I have any imperfections. Usually around my nose as well.
Wow, you don't put a lot.
No, just a little bit. So usually this is pretty much how much I apply because I don't want to, again, it's summer, we don't want to cake it up, so we want to keep it very fresh.
Okay.
And I take a brush. You can use a beauty blender, you can use your fingers. Ring finger is the best way to apply products because it applies the least amount of pressure.
Okay.
Eyes, face, whatever you use, you can use a ring finger or a flat synthetic brush like this. And I just like to kind of dot the product. And this concealer is very lightweight, so it just gives me a nice coverage without too much. Also, if you need coverage, foundation really doesn't have that much coverage normally versus concealers. They have more coverage and they're more opaque as well.
Oh, so you cover with concealer now with foundation.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm gonna cry. That was such a revelation.
Isn't it, right?
Yes.
So as you can see, I'm already looking more flawless just by applying a tiny bit of concealer and then dabbing it with this concealer / foundation brush, but it's kind of like a synthetic brush. And then that's it. And you can already hide those imperfections and your complexion already looks much more flawless.
Yes. So should I put here? I never put concealer there.
I put here because I get those red spots or redness around my nose, usually from like if it's allergy season, blowing my nose a lot of times.
I'm so nervous.
Squeeze it a little bit. You can definitely squeeze it a little bit.
I'm just very nervous because I'm not used to.
Don't be afraid.
Okay.
It goes a very long way. I gotta buy a new one, but I love this one. It's very creamy and very soft, and also kind of moisturizes my skin. It doesn't look dry on my skin, if that makes sense. Yep, you can do it. Yeah, you can apply it with your fingers. Just dab, dab, dab like that. Perfect. Whatever you need, a little coverage.
Oh, how far under my eye should I go?
I usually go a little bit, kind of here under my eyeshadow, just to kind of lift it up a little bit.
Okay.
So when you apply lighter concealer here, it kind of lifts up your face as well. Underneath.
Last summer I took a 3-4 hour course with Nikolina. It was just one-on-one, me and her. I have learned so much, and one of the things I've learned is to wet my beauty blender before I use it. Before I would always use it to dry.
Exactly.
Okay, so I take my beauty blender.
The reason why you want to wet it, because then it applies product better. It kind of becomes bigger, obviously, because it has water inside, and it also becomes a little bit more softer. So when you bounce it on your skin, it doesn't seem so harsh versus having a very dry beauty blender.
So ladies, if you happen to come in vacation to Las Vegas, you want to treat yourself to something nice, I highly recommend the one-on-one class with Nikolina.
It makes a difference.
It makes a big difference.
A big difference doing your own makeup when a professional shows you how to do it, and you know, it just makes it easier in the morning. Since we're done with all the cream products, I overset my face a little bit. I know you don't really set your face with powder too much, which we live in Vegas again, so we don't really need a lot. But if you are on the oily side, you want to use some kind of powder to set at least your T-zone. I like using Manakadar High Perfecting Powder. It's a very soft powder, suitable for all skin types and tones as well. I use a little small brush like this, and I just dab in the highest points where I mostly get oily, which is pretty much under my eye, where my T-zone is.
And you use the powder.
And I use just kind of dabbing. I don't really wipe or pull or anything. I just dab where I need to, because I don't want too much product. So I'm applying a very, very small amount, just to kind of keep the shine away. I don't want it to be shiny in this.
So you don't set your whole face?
I normally don't. I just set this part of my face.
Oh, okay.
Because I like my face to be glowy. And this is pretty much where I need to. Also, if you have deep set under eyes, you want to apply a little extra powder there. Anything with white light color brings the focus to an area and also emphasizes the area, kind of pushes it forward versus sinking in inside. And that way it looks a little bit less, you'll look less tired, if that makes sense.
I've seen sometimes on different YouTube videos where some people use the beauty blender to apply that.
Okay.
And I kind of tried it, but I don't know if I like it or not.
That's called baking. That's a technique called baking, when you apply a lot of powder to an area to make it more perfect, to make it more less oily, more flawless. The only thing with that, you want to do a little small amount of powder first and then baking. You don't want to apply a lot of powder on top of a cream. It's going to sink to it. So first a little bit and then baking if you need to. Because otherwise it defeats the purpose, kind of. It does, and it makes the area even more dry, and the powder sticks more to a cream, and that's why it looks more cakey. It looks more, just sinks in the pores and in the lines.
That's what I noticed when I was doing.
Yes. It makes you look older as well.
Yes. Yes.
So layer a little bit of the powder first, a setting powder, and then bake it on top.
Okay, ladies, my turn now. Let's see. So
tap it away a little bit.
Oh, tap it away?
Okay, you don't want too much. You just want a light amount.
I don't.
And just dab.
So if I put too much, actually, it will make the lines under my eyes more obvious.
Exactly. So just dabbing a light amount there. You can always layer more if you need to, or bake it with a little bit more powder in a wet beauty blender. But the first layer needs to be very lightweight.
So my thinking was, I need to put as much powder as I can, because then my concealer is not going to crease. But if I apply too much, it's gonna crease
even more. Exactly. And show even more.
So tap and light hand.
And you can do a little bit around the nose as well, because mostly that's where we get oily, or if we wipe our noses or something. I like a little bit on the chin as well, and just a tiny bit on the center of the forehead. When you're looking at yourself straight, you should look matte. Only when you're looking on the side and kind of moving your face, then you should see the dimension of the highlight and glowiness on your skin. But I like my T-zone to be more on the matte side. Perfect. Yeah, you did a really good job. Great.
Wow.
You look so good, right?
Yes.
And I love this powder because it's such a great, very lightweight powder. You can use a setting powder if you like. For example, I like Huda Beauty powder as well. This one is great. Or a compact powder like this.
So they both work the same. The key is just light.
Exactly.
Ladies, there we have it. Flawless complexion with no foundation. It's so easy. The skin looks flawless.
It does, yes.
Next, can you please teach me how to, that technique you mentioned to me last week, you layer different highlighters, and it sounds so intimidating, but I don't think it is.
Yes.
I don't even know the right word. It's basically, ladies, Nikolina said that you can layer highlighters on top of highlighters.
Yes, definitely. I want to show you that trick, but before we do that, let's first do a little contour. Okay, Now it's the time for that highlight trick. So what that means, I wanted to show you how to layer highlights from the most softest one, gentle one, to the most blinding, dramatic one, if that makes sense.
Yes, can I? Okay. First of all, it sounds so intimidating. I mean, just the idea of applying one highlighter correctly, it's like, I hope we do it right. So first, what's the purpose of layering highlighters?
So the purpose of layering highlighters is if you don't want to look too blinding on, you know, when you go out, let's say, you don't want to look too blinding, but you want to have a nice dimension to your skin. So what that means is layering them from the lightest or the softest one. First, I'm going to layer it to the highest points and the bigger area of my cheeks. And then I'm going to layer the most blinding one or the most dramatic one only on the highest point of my cheeks.
Oh, so actually by layering highlighters, we achieve a more natural look, but don't look like fake.
Yes, we don't look fake, we don't look blinding, we don't look like we have a silver area on our cheeks, but it looks like a beautiful dimension to your skin, because then you kind of layer it almost like a pyramid, right? The pyramid, the bottom has the biggest surface, and then as you layer it, the top only is like this, only on the tip of the cheek, where it just gives you the beautiful dimension to your cheeks.
Awesome. Okay,
let's get started.
Yes.
So first, I'm going to use this LC Cosmetics highlighter. This one is a beautiful soft highlight. I'm sure you can notice that it's very soft.
It is very soft.
Very creamy, very kind of, just going to give you beautiful luminosity to your skin without being glittery or shimmery. I'm using a bigger brush as well, a little bit more tapered, and I'm kind of blending them both because it has that gold and rose gold in it, tapping away the excess of the product. And then when I'm applying it, I'm kind of applying it in a little higher points all over my cheek here. And you will see how soft it is. It just like emphasizes my skin. It doesn't look like I have shimmer or glitter on my skin.
It does not at all. It just gives a dewy, soft, dewy look.
Soft, dewy look, exactly. That's what I want.
Did I describe it correctly?
Exactly.
That's what it looks to me.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I like to go a little bit here on the highest point on my of my forehead, just above the brow. This is where the highest point is. It's not the center, it's just here on the sides, and then a little bit on the tip of my nose as well, and a little bit on my cupid's bow. And this is my first highlighter, right? So I'm gonna layer it now, and I can do this all I want, and I can leave it as is, because I wanna show you how to layer. I'm gonna show you my other highlighters as well.
Okay.
Next one is going to be this one from Morphe. Morphe has a little bit more dramatic highlighters.
Oh, yes. Okay, can we like... So this is
just to compare.
Very soft.
Yes.
And this is a bit deeper.
A little bit deeper, a little bit more chunky, if you will. I'm sure you've noticed some highlighters look a little more chunky, and they pick up more product on the brush as well. Always make sure you tap it. And then now I'm just layering mostly in the center here. I'm not going all over where I went with my first highlighter. I'm just layering lightly on the center, a little smaller brush as well, because it has a smaller tip. It applies a smaller amount of product as well.
So you cover a smaller area now.
Smaller area, yes. I'm kind of toning it down from the biggest to the smallest area. Now, I'm probably not going to do this too much on my other parts, just on the cheeks, because this is the highest point and I want really to see the dimension when I'm turning my face.
I can already see it.
Exactly.
Yes. But it's still very subtle.
Very subtle, exactly. So these two are very subtle. If you're someone who loves subtle highlighters, more creamy highlighters, I would suggest buying something like this. But if you are someone who likes the blinding highlight, who wants to really bring attention to your cheeks, I would suggest buying the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sun Kissed Glow Kit. This is my go-to product. It has beautiful 4 different shades, perfect for professional makeup artists, especially everyday woman who just wants to learn how to do her own makeup.
Oh wow, what a contrast between the first highlight you used to the last one.
Exactly. So you will see how blinding this is actually. I'm gonna mix them. I'm a mixer. I love mixing products. And with the tip of the brush only, not the sides, the tip of the brush. And I'm just gonna go and apply it only on the highest point. I'm literally just gonna touch the highest point here.
Just the highest point there, okay.
And that way you will see how this is going to give me the dimension of a highlighter. I don't know if you guys
so you really cover an even smaller area.
Even smaller area. So only this part is that blinding, the most blinding spot of my highlight. I'm not even going to add it anywhere else because I don't want it. I just want to keep it here. Maybe a tiny bit here, whatever I have left, and a tiny bit over my cupid's bow. You see that?
Yes, and actually what it does, I cannot tell where the highlight started.
Exactly.
But I can see it. I just don't know where it started, where it ends. It just kind of blends.
It just blends. Yep, it just beautifully blends. It's very important also when applying it, apply it upwards. Do not apply it downwards, because you don't want any powder to flake off on top of your T-zone. T-zone always needs to be matte, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
So always bring it up. Okay. If there's any extra product, it will fall on top of your, I don't know, here, this area. It's not going to fall on top of your T-zone. Bigger lightening crew from MOTD.
Okay.
And I use a little bit smaller one after that because I want to only focus product on one area, which is Morphe E or R36.
So you use this with the highlighter 1
and 2
and 2
and then 3.
And this the last, because the last one is the most intense.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, my turn. I can do this. It's actually not as bad as I thought. Okay, so I take a fluffy brush. This is completely new for me.
Tap it.
Okay.
Always tap away the product. Start from the center, kind of going upwards.
Am I doing it okay?
Yep. Keep going. Only on the highest point here. You also, if you are someone who has a lot of lines and wrinkles, for example, you want to avoid applying too far up to the eye, because shimmer emphasizes texture. So if you have a lot of saggy eyelids, for example, you're gonna avoid using shimmery products on your eyelids as much, or the same thing with your face.
It is very subtle.
Very subtle.
And
it's
then
actually
also you said a bit here?
Yeah, a little bit here, and I like it a little bit on the tip of the nose. It's called actually the skin reflector.
No, here, no.
I don't like on the chin, because chin can be oily, so we don't want that. Yeah, perfect. You can layer some more. Don't be afraid. Yeah.
Okay.
Tap away. And then with the tip of the brush, make sure if you pick up with the tip of the brush is what you're applying the product with as well. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then 2.
We're going to use the one from Morphe.
Okay.
Same thing, same
tap away.
Technique. Just don't go all the way, kind of keep it a little bit on the smaller area.
Should I start from here?
Yeah, till about here. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, tap. And I know always go up.
Yes, always go up. And don't forget also to kind of with the tip of the brush. Yep.
Tip of the brush.
Mostly here. This is your highest point. Yep.
Oh.
You see when you're looking on the side, when you're looking like this, this is the highest point.
Oh, that's I had no idea what you were talking about when you said the highest point.
Yeah, because the light and the sun naturally hits you on your highest points of the face.
Oh.
They do not hit you here underneath, does not hit you, I don't know, underneath the nose, right? It just hits you where only the highest points of the face. And we kind of replicate that on their skin with makeup products.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, you did a really good job, definitely.
Oh, wow. Oh, that looks really good.
Let me see. So just to kind of show you, you're gonna go, I like to go fast. And that kind of, bring it a little bit up. Yeah, there you go. And your skin is gorgeous, so you can definitely take a lot of highlight. Again, if you're someone who has a lot of texture, a lot of lines and wrinkles, you want to avoid applying too many highlighters to your skin.
Okay.
Maybe just stick with the first one. Do not go with the second or third.
Because highlight draws attention.
Exactly, brings the focus to the area.
And then with the third one...
I blended all 3. I love blending products. So besides this one, all 3 other ones. Yep, let me hold it for you.
Oh, thank you.
And then just on the center.
Right here?
Yep. And kind of, yep. Nope, this one.
Oh, yes. So this is my high point.
Here. This.
That's my high point?
Yes.
I thought my high point was like here somewhere.
Nope, this is your highest point here.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Just turn on the camera and just show how beautiful and glowy it looks.
Yes. Okay, ladies, we are off camera and Nikolina was asking me about my eyeliner. And I know I talked about this before the class I took with her last summer, but she taught me how to angle my eyeliner up to make my eyes look lifted. And also before last summer, I never had the courage to use an eyeliner that was in any color other than black. So she said to me, oh, have you ever thought about using a brown eyeliner? And she was now complimenting my eyeliner, and she was the one who taught me.
Now, since we're done with all the powder products, usually always I have to spray it down with something. And I love this product. It's called Ready Set Renew spray from Manakadar Cosmetics. Manakadar. Okay. We use their products mostly. So I love this company generally. I'm just obsessed with them. And so this cool trick, you're going to take a beauty blender. You're going to wet it a little bit. Let me actually take a little bit more just to kind of, so I like to squeeze my beauty blender in a tissue, so it's really barely damp. There's no product almost, there's no water in it. Barely damp, and I'm gonna spray my face really good with this product. It's like a perfume for your face, isn't it? Smells gorgeous. And then I'm gonna take this part of the beauty blender and kind of press all the areas of my face. Everywhere where I applied any powder, this will kind of marry everything together. It will warm it up and we kind of push it back into the skin, and your makeup will last longer as well. So this trick is like something that I'm obsessed with. I always do this on myself or on my clients.
Can I do it?
Of course, go ahead.
So just oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes. And take the
beauty blender, and just lightly press everywhere. And this just gives you the beautiful, flawless reflection.
I think because you did teach me this trick last summer, and I use it each time I do my makeup. And honestly, I feel as I do this, my makeup starts to look like it's melting into my skin.
Exactly.
And everything just looks natural.
Exactly. This is also if you apply too much product, let's say too much highlighter, too much powder maybe sitting on top of the skin, it just kind of pushes everything back inside of your skin, marries together, and also gives you the beautiful airbrush effect, like you had airbrush makeup done. Look at you, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm obsessed.
Okay, Nikolina, the last thing that I really need help with is my eyebrows, because even if I manage to define them correctly, they I either put too much product so they don't look natural, or they're not even. Okay. So if you could help me with that, it will mean a lot.
Yes, of course. Eyebrows are tricky, it takes time to learn them. I'm going to show you a technique I use here in the studio when I teach my students as well. It's called the golden ratio. I'm sure you never heard about this.
The golden
ratio.
Yes.
Okay. So the golden ratio uses 3-step system to determine how your brows should be defined according to your nose and your eyes. So it's really fun. We're using the Benefit brow products. First, actually, before I do that, I'm going to use their gel. This is their gel, kind of like a mascara gel, I want to call them, for the brows. And I'm just going to use a little bit of the product, not too much, and I'm just going to brush them up a little bit, kind of define them, add a little definition to the brow, a little color as well, not too much.
Okay. Before
I even define them. I like to do this first before I go in with a pencil.
Oh, and you mentioned that this is how you teach your students. I've been saying, I've been mentioning through the video that Nikolina teaches just ladies like me who just want to improve their makeup. But the biggest part of her business, she teaches pretty much anybody who wants to be a makeup artist. It only takes 1 week to receive a certification.
Exactly.
And after I took the class with her last summer, I wanted to go through the program, not because I wanted to become a makeup artist, but I wanted the knowledge.
To learn everything.
To learn everything.
Yes. So we teach here in the studio a professional makeup artistry and business programs. It's perfect for someone who wants to start their own makeup business, who wants to maybe elevate their makeup business and really make the money they deserve. So this is something I'm really proud of. It's only a week program and you can get certified very easily. Just come have a vacation in Vegas and get certified, right?
That is so cool. But the reason I didn't go through the program is because I started a YouTube channel.
Yes.
It takes me a lot of my time.
It does, yes. But you do your makeup really good, so I think you're pretty set. Maybe we can do one more class to kind of maybe learn different looks.
Yes.
But for now, I want to show you the brows.
Yes, okay.
I want to show you this technique with 3 steps, and I want to show you, obviously, I'm going to use a pencil. This is from Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit in the color 2.5. And I'm going to have you maybe turn towards that camera so I can really demonstrate everything really nicely. So I'm going to go from the end of the nose, kind of going upwards. This is where your brow needs to start.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of leave a little line there so you can kind of see it a little bit. Then looking straight, I'm going to go from the end of the nose, kind of through the center of the eye. Let me just make sure I'm measuring this right. Look straight for me. Perfect. This is where the highest part of the brow or the arch should be. I'm going to kind of leave a little line there just to, for reference. And then again, from the end of the nose, the tip of the nose, here I'm going to go from the side of the eye, kind of connecting these 2 lines. And this is where the brow should end. And her brow pretty much is perfect in a sense. It starts and ends in the same.
Sorry, I just want to... Okay.
You just want to see that. So again, we're going from the end of the nose up. This is where the brow needs to start. Center of the brow, center of the eye going up. This is where the highest part of the arch should be. And then center of the, or end of the nose through the end of the eye. This is where the eyebrow should start. Okay. Should stop. I always like to fill in the arch and the tail of the brow first. So I'm going to have it look straight. And I'm going to start from the tail first here, kind of defining it and also filling it in. I like slowly and lightly. I don't press too much with a pencil, especially because pencils tend to be a little more harsher. I like to go very slowly, first kind of fill them in and then start defining them slowly.
Aren't you nervous when you do makeup on people?
No, for me it's like, I don't know, the reason why I'm not nervous is because it's just makeup. It's washable, it's removable, it's not permanent. So there's no mistake. It's not like I'm cutting someone's hair, right?
For how many years you've been doing this?
Almost 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I could do 60 more. I wouldn't get tired. So as you can see how it's already giving you a definition to your eye just by applying a little extra in the arch. I like the arch to be a little more softer as well. So I like to kind of go up.
Yeah, I'm kind of following you in the mirror a bit.
And then kind of softening that arch a little bit so it's not too sharp. If it's too sharp, it can be a little too, you can look a little too angry. So you want it a little bit more softer, right? And it's not in fashion anymore to go with those crazy big stick, you know, Sharpie eyebrows, right? And now since I defined this part, I filled it in because I don't want to go too dark. Also, usually I match the color of the pencil to the root of the hair of the client. If the client has dyed hair, I'm still going to go and match to the root because that's a natural color they have. Now, since I defined the arch a little bit, I'm going to go underneath here and kind of define in a straight line this here. This kind of gives me a point of where the brow should not go. And I'm going to go lower than that. And then from that line here, I'm going to start filling in all these little gaps that she has, that she needs a little extra help here with little kind of almost hair strokes, if you will.
I see that. I hope I'm not blocking the camera. No, trying to follow you in the mirror. Why do you hold the sponge so I don't get any product fall out?
Yes, exactly. So I don't want to like leave any product, or I don't want to also mess up your makeup because my fingers are warm, obviously, so they can kind of move the product a little bit.
And yes, I can tell you're moving very lightly.
I like to move more on this with the side of the pencil versus with the tip of the pencil, if that makes sense. And then you have a little spoolie on the other side, which you can kind of soften up this inner part of the brow if you need to a little bit. I like to kind of push it up. And then if you need to soften up any other area as well. If you need to clean up your brow, you would use a little concealer, which I'm going to use here on the side, just to kind of clean it up. And now I'm going to clean up her brow a little bit. I just took a tiny bit of the concealer on a flat brush, synthetic brush, and I'm just going to go right underneath and clean it up a little bit. If you, for example, apply too much product, too low or something, this way you can kind of clean it up without having too much product at once.
Oh, that looks so good.
It just looks very soft and very natural. And you always want to make sure to match the upper part to the lower part as well. So if the upper part is high, this part needs to be high as well. If this part is lower, this part needs to be lower too. So you kind of match it and make it, you know, very soft brow. I kind of like it. Maybe add a little more here in the center.
Okay.
I know you don't like too much, so don't want to add too much. Maybe just a little bit here to fill it in. Perfect. Let me see the difference. Wow, look at that. It's a big difference.
Yes. Now my eyes look more awake too.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
It gives you more lift to your face.
Okay.
Eyebrows is like a framing, you know, at a picture, you have a frame, the same thing, but eyebrows do to your face. It seems like you were doing a really good job with your brows. The only problem was using a wrong color. So I would suggest maybe instead of going with a blonde, kind of warm tone blonde, going maybe with a cool tone brown color. I think it's going to match you way better.
I didn't realize that, but tonight when I get home, I'm going to probably buy the next shade up from what I was using. Nikolina, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for all your help with the makeup. Ladies, if you want to learn more about Nikolina's classes, I'm going to link her website below. Also, if you want to watch more makeup tutorials, those tutorials are just with me. I have more videos right here. Pick another video to watch. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.